Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shah, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shah, Brakatha Yahweh, Brakatha Yahweh Shah, Kal Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Ruach Hadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered across the four winds. It's your brother Yakar Abin from Great Millstone, Houston. And double honors to the men that taught our elders and apostles. But I just wanted to get into a quick lesson on Yahweh Shah, you know, and reincarnation. Yahweh Shah was King Solomon, and King Solomon was Yahweh Shah. You know, when you look into the scriptures, there are several places. I mean, we're gonna get them. We're gonna get them, but reincarnation is biblical. You know, you know the only way that these things work, that the Heavenly Father has set forth, is if reincarnation is part of the picture. You know, the Lord is talking. You know, He's declaring things from the beginning. Let's get that. Let's get that as no Salakia. Where's it? Isaiah. Con. This is this is Isaiah chapter 46 and verse 9. It says, "Remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, My counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure." So the Most High declares these things from the beginning, you know, the things that are going to be done. And in order for things to work, you know, but some of the, I guess the language that the Lord uses, you know, it explains to you that, you know, He's talking over a long period of time. He's not talking over one lifetime. And then also, with that being said, you know, a lot of times He says when, you know, when people in the scriptures have passed away, it says now you go and sleep with your fathers. Like, so when you sleep with your fathers, guess what? At some point, you have to wake back up. You know, you have to wake back up. It's not like you go to sleep and you know, that's it. You're done. No. When you go to sleep with your fathers, that means you just go to the spirit world, and guess what? You wake back up. You know, but we're gonna get where uh, the Lord spoke. You know, and he ordained King Solomon to be his son. This is First Chronicles chapter 22, starting at verse 9. It says, "Behold, a son shall be born to thee, who shall be a man of rest, and I will give him rest from all his enemies round about. His name shall be Solomon." So let's get that. It's Shalom. It's supposed to be Shalom, but it's Shalom. Yeah, that's Shalom. It's H8010. Solomon or peace. Is it what it says? "And I will give peace and quietness unto Israel in his days. He shall build an house for my name, and he shall be my son, and I will be his father. And I will establish the throne of his kingdom over Israel forever." So, so I mean, right there it states he's going to be my son, and I'm going to be his father. So that right there, you know, how many sons did the Most High have? You know, we are all, well, the Israelites are the sons of God, but you know, Yahweh Shah and Solomon are that son, the son. Those are the one of the first created spirits, you know, The first spirit created, or the only spirit created by the Heavenly Father, was the soul of Solomon and Yahweh Shah being the same person. It says, let's get it somewhere else. This is this is First Chronicles chapter 28 and verse 5, and it says, this is King David speaking, and it says, well, let's get it. Let's start at the top. This is First Chronicles 28 and 1, and it says, and David assembled all the princes of Israel, the princes of the tribes, and the captains of the companies that ministered to the king by course, and the captains over thousands, and the captains over the hundreds, and the stewards over the substance and possessions of the king, and of his sons, his officers, and with the mighty men, and with all the valiant men under Jerusalem. Then David, the king, stood up upon his feet and said, hear me, my brethren and my people. As for me, I had in my heart to build an house of rest for the ark of the covenant of Yahweh and for the footstool of our power, and had made ready for the building. But the Most High said unto me, thou shalt not build a house unto my name, because thou hast been a man of war and hast shed blood. Howbeit, the Lord Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shah, power of Israel, chose me before all the house of my father to be king over Israel forever. He hath chosen Judah to be the ruler, and the house of Judah, the house of my father, and among the sons of my father, he liked me to make me king over all Israel. And of all my sons, for Yahweh have given me many sons, he have chosen Solomon, my son, to sit upon the throne of the kingdom of Yahweh over Israel. And he said unto me, Solomon, thy son, he shall build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. Moreover, I will establish his kingdom forever, and he, if he be consistent to do my commandments and my judgments as at this day. So King Solomon was ordained to be, the Lord's son. So this same spirit is the spirit that was in Yahweh Shah. You know, it says it way more times in the Old Testament, about Solomon being the son, being the son of the Most High, than it does in the New Testament about who the world ignorantly calls Jesus being the Son of God in the New Testament. I mean, but these are the same men. This is the same spirit. This is the same spirit, and a lot of people can't get that because the Lord requires that which is past. The Lord requires, uh, you know, the things that you've done in your body, then you receive judgment for it. Let's get that in Ecclesiastes. You can give this in 1:4. Oh yeah, this passage explains how things things turn around. Let's get it. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit hath a man of his labor which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abide forever. The sun also ariseth and goeth down, and hasteneth to the place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind return again according to his circuits. So all of these are similitudes of reincarnation. These things go in one direction, and guess what? They come back, you know, in a different direction. They come back. They're replenished. Like it's Ecclesiastes 1:7, it says, "All rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Upon the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again." It says, "All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eyes is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." It says, "Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new, it have been already of old time, which was before us? There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after." So, I mean, that right there is explains the spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets. This is First Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 32. It says the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So that means that if in one lifetime, the spirit that's in that prophet is going to be a prophet in the next lifetime, just like Yahweh Shah and his father. The spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. You know, Yahweh Shah has been there from the beginning. He's been there from the very beginning, the first spirit created. Okay, we can get that. Well, let's get this in where is it? Second Samuel 7 first. Go and get that. This is Second Samuel chapter 7 and verse 11. It says, "And as since the time that I commanded the judges to be over my people Israel, and have caused thee to rest from all thine enemies, also Yahweh telleth thee that he will make thee a house. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers," there goes that, sleep with thy fathers, right? So if you go to sleep, you have to wake back up at some point. "And I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever." So Solomon's kingdom, has been established forever, but yet Yahweh Shah is going to reign over that kingdom. It says, "I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the stripes of the children of men. But my mercy shall not depart away from him, as I took it from Saul, whom I put away before thee. And thine house and thy kingdom shall be established forever before thee. Thy throne shall be established forever." It says, "According to all these words and according to all this vision, so did Nathan speak unto David." So David is our king. David has always been our king, and he's going to be our king in the kingdom. When Yahweh Shah sets up rulership on the earth, then King David is going to be king under Yahweh Shah. You know, but Yahweh Shah is Solomon. Yahweh Shah is Solomon. You know, I mean, it is what it is. But Yahweh Shah was there from the beginning. So this is John chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was a power. The same was in the beginning with the Most High." All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was the life, and the life was the light of men. So this is talking about Yahweh Shah. The Lord created Yahweh Shah, and then he ordained him to create everything else. It's like, you got a company or whatever, you know, the people that own the company, or the person that owns the company, says a construction company, they don't actually go out and you know put the wood and the nails and the hammer and construct it. No, they have people that do that, but once it's finished, hey, they get the credit for the whole building. And that's how Yahweh has created this world. Yahweh Shah is the one that actually did the work. He put the work in. The Most High ordained him to be over his creation, and this is what happened. And we get these scriptures. It says, this is Colossians chapter 1 and verse 13. It says, "Who have delivered us from the power of darkness and have translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins, who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature. For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist." This is talking about Yahweh Shah. He is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, and that in all things he might have preeminence. Let's get that preeminence, to be first, to hold the first place. So Yahweh Shah, that's G4409, holds the first in all things. He holds the first place. He is the first. He's the top rank, the head, however you want to put it. Yahweh Shah has always been there from the beginning. The Lord created Yahweh Shah, and then he put Yahweh Shah inside his creation. He put him inside his creation. So uh, King Solomon was Yahweh Shah in a previous life. And well, we can get that, and we'll close it out. This is Hebrews chapter 1. Oh, we get that too. Get that too. This is Hebrews chapter 1. It says, "The Most High, who at sundry times and diverse manners spake in time past unto our fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken to us by his Son, whom he have appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds." And that word worlds should be ion. Ion means G165. It says, "Forever an unbroken age, perpetuity, perpetuity of time, eternity, the worlds, the universe, period of time." So the rulerships. This is, "Hath in these last days spoken to us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom he also made the worlds, who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high, being made so much better than the angels, he hath by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. For unto which of the angels said he at any time, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee? And again, I will be to thee a father, and he shall be to me a son. So, and again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he saith, and let all the angels of the Most High worship him. And the angels, he saith, who make, and of the angels, he saith, who make of his angel spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. But unto the Son, he said, thy throne, O power, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. So, I mean, but unto his son he saith, thy throne, O power. So, he's saying his son is a power, is forever and ever, and a scepter of righteousness is a scepter of thy kingdom. Which, what did he say? First Chronicles 28:6. And he said unto me, Solomon, thy son, he shall build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. So that right there explains to you that Solomon and Yahweh Shah are the same people. But let's get this right here, and then we'll get two more, and we'll close it out. It says, this is 2 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 24. And David comforted Bathsheba his wife, and went unto her, and lay with her, and she bare a son, and he called his name Solomon. And Yahweh loved him, and he sent by the hand of Nathan the prophet, and he called his name Jedediah, because of Yahweh. And this Jedediah means, it's H3041. It's Yah da Yah da Yah Yada Yada Yah, which means beloved of Yahweh, beloved of Yahweh. So we also know that in where is it? God, this is it. This is Matthew chapter 17 and verse 5. It says, and while he spake, behold, a bright cloud, which was a chariot, overshadowed them, a chariot of the Lord, a so-called UFO. While he yet spake, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. So that right there, this is my beloved Son. This is my beloved Son, Jedediah, beloved of the Most High. So that being said, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Raha Kadash. Double honors to our elders, apostles, of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. Hopefully this lesson is edifying. Shalom.